So today I'm going to be talking about the future of Mediavine. Those of you who were able to attend our second conference, our conference last year in California, I had a similar talk, and I'm going to be talking a lot about those same themes. There we go. Where we unveiled our mission statement last year, which was creating sustainable businesses for content creators. And ads were just the beginning. It's kind of our fun little catchphrase. But that's kind of going to be the theme of today's talk. I want to cover all the things that we're going to be building here at Mediavine. And that ads are just a part of that. So really, I want you guys to think of it as like a puzzle that we're building here, and kind of everything is going to be interconnected, and that's kind of what I'm going to try to explain today. I want to make something very clear. Ads are still the core of what we do here. They're a very important part of that puzzle, but I'm probably not going to talk that much about them directly today. Just know that we are going to continue to innovate in ads. Nothing to worry about, but it's not that exciting to talk to you about all the yield optimizations and all the stuff we're doing on the back end. So instead, we're going to be focusing on kind of the more fun products that we're building here. And really, overall, internally, we're kind of calling this like a platform, the platform for content creators. This is just a concept. There's not an actual platform you'll be logging into. Obviously, you guys all run your own sites, but the platform is kind of all of these pieces together. And again, ads are part of this equation. And again, when it comes to this platform and all the tools that we build here, nothing is required. I want to make that very clear. I am going to sound like I'm giving you a pitch on some of these things, but you guys all run your own sites. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're never telling you how to run your sites. That's not our job. But for publishers that want more, that want these tools, we want to be able to give that to them. And publishers that want to make more money because these tools are optimized for ads, again, we want to give that to them. And also, everything here is very open. As you guys know, Create is in the repo right now, the WordPress repo. Anyone can run it. It's not exclusive to Mediavine publishers. None of this is about trapping people. So I want to preface all of these disclosures before we begin. Now I can get into pitching. All right, so Create. Those of you guys who don't know, Create is what we basically called our recipe card plugin from a couple years ago. But it really is so much more. It's a plugin for all content creators. It allows you to showcase your most valuable content and present it to your users in an extremely beautiful, user-friendly way, optimized for ads, printable, and amazing for SEO. That's because it marks everything up in schema. So again, this is so much more than a recipe card, and that's kind of the fun stuff I want to talk about, because obviously not everyone here is a food blogger, and we all know what recipe cards are. So one of the most exciting things is how-to schema. We've talked about this before, but basically last year when we debuted Create, we launched with something called how-to schema. And how-to schema is basically any instructional content you're writing. So how to do this, and as long as it's step by step. A lot of people think this is only for craft and DIY bloggers, but it's so much more. Any content that begins with the phrase how to and that's step by step, you can use this for. Best example to give is Google literally has how to tie a tie for one of their examples of how to use this. So like any blogger can use it. Basically, how-to schema when we first launched was not an officially recognized schema type, but we kind of went of the mindset, if you build it, they will come, and they came. And now these are the rich results that you can get in Google if you're running how-to schema. You basically take over the entire search result on mobile. And these are only on mobile right now, but you can see these awesome examples. And this is built into Create. Everyone can run this today, and this is not just for food bloggers. And then lists. These are probably one of the most exciting things to come to Create as well. And lists are what Google calls the item list or the carousel. And again, this was actually something Google was begging for people to build, and Create was the first plugin to mark up schema on this. And what ends up happening, this is a list of any content that you want to say, these are the top 10, whatever it is, these are the 5 best knitting patterns, whatever it is. Lists are not just for recipes. Again, I know there's a lot of people that think that lists are only for recipes because another plugin only did them for recipes. But Create allows you to mark up anything in a list, and Google actually tells you to do this. You can mark up articles. That's a list of articles is something that Google asks for. And if you look and squint your eyes, you can see 5 most popular knitting patterns. So that is a craft site getting a carousel in the Google search results. All this stuff, again, is in Create. It is so much more than a recipe card. But even more exciting is everything that's coming up for Create. So if you guys aren't running this now, there's a lot more coming to Create as well. So there's actually over 30 officially recognized Google schema types. We're supporting 3 at this moment. Not every one of them will be applicable, but there's a lot more stuff we're going to be able to do for Create. And one of those things, yes, is travel blogs. are going to be getting the exclusive top places soon. And I know food bloggers are waiting for this last one. Imperial and metric conversions are coming, and lots of other fun stuff, including the recipe index or the card index. So Create has a lot of awesome stuff coming, but really what I want to talk about today is where it kind of fits into that platform I was talking about. So Create right now has about 2,000 publishers running it, but as it continues to grow, this is going to allow us to build more custom ad experiences, which is incredibly exciting because we actually control basically the formatting of what that card looks like, so we can bring in true native experiences to the Create card. Right now, if you run it, it's the most optimized recipe card plugin or card plugin there is. It adds ads on your print preview, not when you print, but on the print preview itself. You get multiple ads in a card instead of just having one. And remember, these are the most valuable ads. And again, one more thing that it does to fit into the platform is that it's optimized for Trellis, which is probably the more exciting thing that people want to hear me talk about. First, I'm going to tell everyone I am not here to announce that Trellis is live or give you a date, unfortunately. But I am here to tell you about some of the cool features that we've never talked about with Trellis. So those of you who don't know about this hype machine, Trellis is going to be an open source theme framework. So you can think of it like Genesis, but a more modern version of Genesis. So a lot of these WordPress theme frameworks were built years ago, and there's just a lot newer modern web technologies that they don't take advantage of. And that's what Trellis is going to be built for. It's built for page speed, SEO, user experience, and of course, revenue. So let's talk about the page speed stuff. So out of the box, we have this running on live sites today. Alpha, nobody here would want to run it on their own personal sites just yet. But we're seeing 90 plus scores out of the box. So that's not running anything like any additional plugins to do that. So we kind of look at it as multiple plugins in one, and that's kind of how we're accomplishing this. This is going to have things like the lazy loading of your images built in. It's going to optimize your JavaScript, your CSS, your fonts, all that stuff that PageSpeed Insights is yelling at you to fix. Trellis just automatically does. So you can really think of this as a replacement for multiple plugins. I can't give a speech without an Oprah moment. So one of the most exciting things about it is also that it's a progressive web app. For those of you who don't know what a progressive web app is, it's basically giving you an app on Android devices from your website. So if you're running Trellis, any user that goes to your site on an Android device is going to get encouraged to download your app. You can even submit this app to the App Store with a little bit of work, so everyone's going to be getting an app. Right now that's only on Android, but iOS is continuing to add more and more features. They use something called service workers in the background, which is super cool, and again, no other frameworks are taking advantage of this. And service workers, for the geeks in the room, basically allow the browser to go do things in the background without slowing down your site. So we use that for a lot of page speed tweaks and to give you guys progressive web apps. So literally your website will not only be an app, but it will work when a user doesn't even have internet. So they're very cool. So Trellis Marketplace. This is the first time we're talking about this. So I want everyone to be excited about a paid product, and I'm about to tell you why. So we are going to be charging for the Trellis Marketplace. And what the Marketplaces are child themes that are built on top of the Trellis framework. So again, the framework is going to be open source and available. So if you want to develop on it and build your own stuff for personal use, completely free. But if you want to have professionally designed themes, that's where the Trellis Marketplace is going to be coming in. And why it's paid, and for the first time we're charging our publishers for anything, is because one, we want to make it available for not just our publishers long term, and we want to build a sustainable ecosystem. So this isn't just going to be Mediavine designing these child themes. We want to build third-party, professionally designed themes in here, and they want to get paid. Just as you guys want to get paid for creating content, they would want to get paid for creating themes. We don't have any announcements on pricing yet, but it will be extremely competitive with any other themes that are out there, especially for Mediavine publishers. And again, you got to look at it as multiple plugins in one. So it's really going to be, if anything, saving money and providing so much ROI from just growth of traffic and revenue optimization. So every one of these themes is also going to be maintained by our developers. So even if it was built by a third-party developer and submitted, we're going to make sure that that theme continues to get all of the new Trellis features over time. That's a big deal because as we go to build out Trellis and offer new like custom ad experiences, whatever it may be, you will know that your theme is going to be maintained. You don't have to worry about switching themes. And again, these are stuff we can do as a result of being able to charge for this. One of the cooler things also is that every one of these themes are designed for Create. So I know right now people that run Create often have to email in, help me make this look a little bit more like my site, make this customization. These are all going to work obviously beautifully together. You can almost look at every theme as getting its own special Create theme because they're all going to look like they fit in. And this is all customizable without CSS. So if you want to be able to change, for example, your colors, your fonts, font sizes, any of that kind of stuff, it's just going to be done right from within Trellis. So once you're running these kind of more premium Trellis themes, you don't need to worry about anything else. And again, for the first time ever, Mediavine is going to control the design of a site from start to finish, which is going to allow us to do more of these custom ad experiences. So I don't know if you guys heard, but we have 5,000 live publishers now, as we announced before. And with 5,000, I'll take the claps. But yeah, with 5,000 live publishers, that's 5,000 very different sites. A lot of our development resources are actually just spent making sure that we're avoiding conflicts because 5,000 different permutations of every single plugin, and I hear that bloggers like to install a lot of plugins. We end up dealing with a lot of conflicts, right? And for the first time, we're going to be able to build these ad experiences because we're controlling it. We know that people aren't putting in like weird CSS hacks that break ads and all sorts of weird things that we have to deal with. We won't have to deal with that with Trellis themes. So that's going to be exclusive. Again, nothing that anyone has to run Trellis, but if you are, we want to be able to give you guys more. So these are just a couple of the themes, child themes that we have right now that we're testing. So they're all going to be mobile optimized. So if you don't like the colors, again, don't worry about it. Marigold is not the required color. You can be able to choose the colors. You'll be able to choose the fonts. You'll be able to customize them to make it look like your site. But the idea behind all of these different themes is that they're going to be very lightweight. And the idea is we're going to have a lot of them, and you'll be able to change at any time once you're buying one Trellis Marketplace theme. So find the one that works for you, and don't think of them as there's only one food theme that we all have to run now. There's going to be handfuls of them. So Trellis sites will all look different. So one house cleaning item we do have to talk about is what's compatible with Trellis. So it's really like an optimized for Trellis type of program here. So one of the things, and again, for non-developers in the room, there's this thing called jQuery. If you don't know what it is, that's fine, but it's a large JavaScript file that every single one of your sites right now has to run on WordPress, and the rest of the site has to wait until it finishes. That's just the nature of jQuery. The library is synchronous. It has to load first before your site can do anything. Trellis does not use jQuery. Create does not use jQuery. So if you want your site to hit optimal speeds, you're going to want your plugins to be optimized for Trellis. Our plan is to work with the top developers. Again, not everyone wants to run Create. We totally understand that. And there are other plugins apparently out there. So we're going to make sure that they are optimized for Trellis the best that we can. If they don't ditch jQuery and they don't follow best practices, Trellis will do everything it can to still optimize your site for page speed. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, if it's a third party, we can't control what it's going to do to your site. So yeah, there's one fun announcement I want to make. So there are a few other plugins that I hear you guys are always looking for. People like to grow their traffic. Things like social sharing buttons that are notorious for slowing down sites, related posts that love to take down servers, newsletter signups that cover ads and do all sorts of terrible things. Our plan is to finally rethink all of these stuff with Grow. So we are going to be building a third plugin called Grow that's going to be basically your social sharing and your newsletter signups and related posts all in one. That guy has no release date, and again, this is in very early alpha testing, but it's going to be optimized for Trellis, and everything is going to work together between these three to create just an awesome platform for everyone to maximize their earnings, revenue, and traffic. So I don't even know how long that was because I rushed through that. But I'm going to open things up for quick questions if anyone has any on, we do.
What's your price point on Trellis?
So not officially announced yet, but it will be, again, for the people in this room, it'll be very, very price competitive. We don't know what the future of the pricing is going to be, but compare it to whatever else is out there right now. And you'll know that you will be that price or cheaper, and that's getting you access to all the themes, not just the one that you're buying. But it will be a subscription-based, much like a lot of the other themes for continuous support.
Was just wondering if Mediavine has any plans to offer hosting maybe in the future? Asking for a friend.
Hosting comes with a whole other fun sort of problems. We don't have any immediate plans to offer hosting, but Trellis will be compatible on multiple hosts. And what you were seeing there was on that one site. That's obviously not Mediavine hosting. That's a third-party host, and you're still able to hit kind of those page speed scores. And we're going to work with any of the popular kind of WordPress hosting companies that want to make sure that everything's optimized for Trellis, including our good friends Agathon that are here. So we'll make sure that you do not need Mediavine hosting.
Raise your hands, raise your hands.
Eric, is customized nutrition going to be available for Create? Because I'm not using it currently, and that was why, because I can't put in custom ingredients.
Oh, like add to what's not in the Nutritionix database? That's a great question. I think right now, and I'm leaning at Jordan over there in the corner, one of our lead devs on it. Yeah? Perfect. This is why I bring him.
If you find that you have an ingredient that is not available in NutritionX database, please email us. We will contact and sort of coordinate with NutritionIX to get that added. In the past, we've had a couple of other requests. They've been very prompt to add those ingredients. So as long as they can validate the ingredients with their nutritionists, they will add it to their database.
Right. Yeah. So it's a third-party API, but obviously we'll work with them.
So you're looking to do a Trellis for not just the Mediavine customers, but for anybody who wants to buy it. In terms of support and things like that, is it going to be for anybody who has it, whether they're with Mediavine or anybody else? Is it the same level of support?
Yeah. So for our amazing support team that's here, they're going to hate hearing this, but we're going to try to offer that same high-quality Mediavine support that we do for our ads for Trellis. But again, everything right now at the launch is going to be just for Mediavine publishers during the beta period, just because things are a little easier during the beta when we have a better relationship with you guys, but the long-term plan is to open this thing up. And when we do, the plan would be the same support.
So I'm new and non-technical and old. I'm very old. I'm almost 50, and I don't understand anything you just said. So what I was trying to figure out is, this is something that works with WordPress or instead of WordPress, or go back to basics on square one on that?
Yeah, sorry, I jumped ahead on that stuff. Yeah, so this is a WordPress theme framework. So you're just going to install these as if you would install any other WordPress theme. And it will just, and everything else here, Create and Grow, these are all WordPress plugins. WordPress, for those that don't know, is an open source framework, and that's what we get behind because it should be open. I know there's a lot of people that run more closed frameworks, hosted sites like whatever it may be, Squarespace or Blogger, and that's perfectly fine. Our ads will always work with that, but that's not open for other developers, so we can't build this stuff. The only platform we can is WordPress, and there's honestly, it's like 90-something% of our publishers run it. So if you're not running it, this isn't a pitch to run it, but if you are, we're going to offer all this stuff.
In terms of design, how customizable will they be? Like, I know y'all are going to work with Per Design, Lindsay, wonderful. Mm-hmm. How much will she be able to make that look like my current site?
So Trellis itself is going to be extremely customizable. The child themes that we're releasing, the idea of that is you're just going to click Activate, and that's your theme, and you can do light customizations. Like, this is my new color and font, right? Or I want this different layout on the homepage, whatever it may be. The idea is that's for non-developers. If you're working with a designer or developer, they're going to be using the Trellis framework itself rather than necessarily one of these child themes. So super customizable, the same way as Genesis, be able to build whatever you want off of it. And we're first going to be releasing the marketplace side of things to be able to test things out before we start releasing this to the community. But the idea is very closely after, we're going to be working with people like Lindsay and whatever other designers out there that want to build on this to help them out.
I know you said you didn't have a launch date yet, but is this a 2019 thing or a 2020 thing?
It will 100% be in beta testing within the people that have signed up for that list soon. So definitely 2019. I can promise you 2019.
And how do you sign up for the beta testing?
We're going to provide the form.
Okay.
We'll make sure everyone has it. I know we posted in the group before, but I'll make sure everyone here has that form.
Great, thanks.
There's a lot of people that have signed up, but that's going to be the priority, is getting through those people first. So Genesis being the framework, if you install Genesis on your site, it's not going to look very good, so you guys always install child themes to make them what they are. And that's the same concept as Trellis. If someone were to, Trellis actually does not look that bad. One of the sites we're testing with, just with Trellis, people are like, I want that on my site. We're like, no, that's not like a theme. That's the framework. But yeah, the idea of the framework is you build on top of it, and you build your theme on top of it. These are kind of the tools to give the developer what they need to get all of those page speed scores, to get the progressive web app. It's the framework on which you build your child theme. And yeah, you can look at Trellis child themes as like a Foodie Pro or the various stuff out there. I'm not very good at WordPress themes, so I can't even name more of them. But
Are there any plans to add a jump to recipe button to create?
So that is a great question. So I would say that if anyone wants to add a jump to recipe, it's easy enough. I think our plan is to probably just give you instructions if you want to do it yourself, rather than it ever being an option. At the end of the day, we make our money off ads. We're not going to give you something in your hands that's going to destroy your ad income. It's obviously personal choice, right? So if you want to run it, there's ways to do it right now with Create, and we don't want to stop you from doing it, at least artificially. So it will never be an easy option, but it will be an option.
Are there any plans to make it so if somebody wants to double a recipe, that there's like a button or something that automatically doubles the ingredients so that they don't have to do their poor math and then mess it up and then fail on the recipe and then leave a horrible comment for me?
Right.
Hypothetical, of course.
Right. So similar to the imperial metric that is coming, and one of the things we just have to do is, right now we give you guys kind of like the free form ability to be able to put in all the ingredients. We purposely didn't make it so you have to enter this ingredient, pick the cup size, do all the stuff that some of the other plugins make you do, because we want it to be as streamlined as possible. So the way we do nutrition calculation right now is we use what's called natural language processing, or basically AI, to figure out what you put in and convert it into the actual measurements. So we're going to be using something similar for imperial metric. And once you kind of separate that stuff out, it becomes a lot easier to increase the number of servings. I know some people will not be happy that things won't be 100% accurate. Obviously, some things aren't just equally multiplied out as you increase the number of servings. So we're going to have to come up with clever ways to allow you to be able to adjust that stuff, because some of us are very particular here about things being correct. But yeah, eventually coming. It's a long way of saying that.
I'm coming. So back to Trellis, because we all have those questions.
Mm-hmm.
When it's coming out, because it's a new framework, it's a new theme, everything else, how easy will it be to take our current themes and put them onto Trellis without hiring outside help, versus how familiar with outside help be in order to be able to properly code it and use it and customize it, since it is so new?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things we're definitely working on is all that kind of developer documentation, and that's very important for our developers. It's a big project of ours, and they want to get behind that. But I don't think it's going to be easy for a non-developer to be able to take their existing theme and port it to Trellis. It's unfortunately, a lot of starting over with that kind of stuff. Again, child themes, they're going to be easy. You click one button, and you'll be activated. In terms, the other is going to be, you're going to have to learn these are the WordPress hooks and filters they're going to be using. There's going to be a learning curve. But again, we have a Slack room right now that we invite developers into. We're going to have documentation. We want to support the community.